Hi guys, and welcome back to iClone 3D, where we discuss tips, tricks and tutorials for the latest animation softwares. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on bell notifications for all our future tutorials. You can also follow me on Instagram at iClone 3D. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can use my PayPal email below, and any donations are greatly appreciated. Now, without further ado, let's crack on with the tutorial. So today we're going to be looking at the Amplifier Lut. And we're going to be looking at a couple of different ways you can get some really cool renders just using the native renderer in iClone. So firstly, you can see this is our basic image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to render this out, and we're going to keep this as our test one. And we're just going to compare and contrast all the kind of different variations we get, and you know, how beneficial these Amplifier Luts are for, you know, your renderer. So I'm just going to keep it to 1080p. And we're just going to go down here, and we're just going to render that off as a PNG. So I'm just going to hit export, and we'll just export that onto the desktop as test one. So now that's exported, we can see that pops up here. So I'll just minimize that for now, and we'll come back to that later. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our stage, and we're going to open our Amplifier Luts tab. And you can see there's a couple of hundred here, different kind of looks and feelings, etc. Now, just to quickly drop one on, I'll just choose this, and you can see already it changes the whole look of the scene. And you know, there's a lot of different ones here. So if you were doing a scene out in the desert, for example, you could come and use one of these LUTs, and that will give a kind of deserty effect. And you can control the kind of overall strength in the visual tab by coming into here, and you can see all the ones we've put on are placed here. So we'll take off these ones, and here is just our one desert LUT. And if we wanted to bring the strength down, we could bring that right down and, you know, pick what suits our scene. So I'll leave that at 100 for now, just for the tutorial, and I'll let you guys play around with that in your own time. So we'll go back into our content tab, and what I'm going to show you today is how you can get a realistic kind of color grade looking, you know, in your scene, a really good color grade look to your scene, cinematic, and, you know, overall something that's going to really stand out to your viewer. So what you want to do is just come to the top, and we're going to look for our contrast. So firstly, we're going to play with the contrast of the scene. So we'll just click that, and you can see already, if I undo that, the difference it does make to the kind of overall look. Really kind of cool. So we're going to put that on, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go down, and we're going to look for our exposure, and we could just take a little bit of exposure out if you wanted to, and, you know, I'll undo that and redo it, and you can see the difference that does. So we'll knock a bit of exposure out just to give it that more cinematic feel, and we're going to keep going through them, and we're going to just look for vibrance. And here we go, and we're going to add some vibrance to the scene. Now, if I undo that, you can see the difference that makes to the overall look. And that is basically 3 simple steps in how you can get an overall better image. Now, I'm just going to again render this off as test 2, and we'll just compare them side by side and see kind of the overall looks. So as you can see, quite a lot of difference going on here. The image pops a little bit more, and, you know, it kind of looks a bit more vibrant and a bit more watchable. This one here looks a bit dull, a bit flat, and, you know, it doesn't pop as much as the image on the right. So you can see automatically, using the native renderer in iClone, you're going to get a massive difference using those LUTs. Now, if I go back into our content here, we can just scroll through, and we can, you know, just find some more looks that are suitable. And the great thing is you can stack these on top of each other. As you can see here in the visual tab, you know, we've got a lot of different looks stacked on top of each other to make up the overall look. And we'll just bring down the strength of the warmth, and we'll just add a little bit of warmth to that. And you can see, you know, it's really bringing that image to life a lot more using these LUTs in iClone. So, you know, here's a cool one as well. If you wanted to do a black and white scene, you know, you just click on that, and that will kind of change that into a black and white scene for you. But we'll undo that. And again, you know, like I say, you can stack these, so you can really kind of go through different looks and, you know, start to stack and build and, you know, see what ones work, see what ones don't, and, you know, really get some really cool looks going on in your scene. So that's just a quick tutorial on that and why you should be using those in your scenes to really bring the best out of the scenes and get some different looks in the overall scenes. So I'm going to end the tutorial with this final look here. We're going to render this off and then we're going to compare the three of those side by side and see which one produces the best results. So I'll just pull up the other two. So you can see there the difference those make to your scenes and why you should be, again, using them in your scenes to really get the best looks. Now, take in mind, I haven't used any background. So, you know, when you use a background, that's going to kind of add those kind of LUTs to the whole scene. And you really will see the difference it makes. You know, you really should be trying to incorporate those in your scenes along the lines, especially if you're not taking the footage out into, you know, a separate software to do color grading. This is just a great way you can really get some phenomenal color grades. So I really hope that helps and really hope to see you guys again soon for another tutorial.